hate the countdown. I always hate the countdown. I saw it pop up, then we went away. Now we're
here. Welcome.
We pick our noses.
I think.
Are we on?
Welcome everyone. Welcome to the Rendered Image. We're live. How you guys doing today? Episode 40. Can't believe it's episode 40. Very special episode where we break down that Spider-Man trailer that came out this week. Yes, welcome. I'm Tyler Babb. I'm one of your hosts.
I'm Christian Aguilar. Hello. How you doing?
I'm Shannon. Hi.
Hi. How you doing? Yeah.
Hi.
Well, welcome to the show. This is the movie news show where we talk about movie news. We geek out over nerd culture, all sorts of stuff. It's a fun time every Thursday, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, and Sunday, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. It's a fun time. You want to join the community. You want to be a part of it. This is where you need to be because we're going to break the trailer down. We're going to come up with some theories. We're going to nerd out today. Hit us up in the chat. Let us know what you thought of the trailer. We love interacting with you guys in the chat, so don't be shy. To support us, you can subscribe to the channel. We're on our way to 300 subscribers. Thank you guys so much. You can like the video. That helps out a lot. And, of course, sharing the video with your friends. But, yes, as anybody, if you don't know, maybe you've been living under a rock, the Spider-Man trailer, the second one, came out. No Way Home came out today, or not today, Tuesday, and set the internet on fire. So we will be breaking it down. How you guys doing today?
I'm doing all right, man. I'm doing good. I can't complain whatsoever. I just got off this small little film set in school. We came on campus, and I was up next to direct the little piece for my directing class, and I'm glad to say it all went well. Everything was productive. Everything was smooth. There was no really a lot of like wrenches in the gears. Like everyone got along with each other. That was good because not a lot of these people, remember, we're all on online classes. So it's kind of like we're meeting a lot of these people for the first time when we get on campus and stuff.
Right.
So we don't know how everyone's going to mesh, you know? So I'm very grateful that everyone worked well with each other and we were on the same page. It was really cool, you know, and a lot of the pre-production was just, you know, virtual. All of it, you know, me was just emailing my DP, making Zoom calls and stuff. So finally getting on set in person is a whole different beast. You know, pre-production is all online, but when you actually get on that set, you don't know how it's going to go, you know? I'm glad it went well. Yeah. So I'm pretty tired.
How about you, Shannon?
I'm good. Just busy. You know, I'm working on 5 different projects simultaneously. 3 of them I'm trying to get ready to pitch for pilots, you know, TV pilots. So it's a lot of work. And, you know, got another project that I'd like to turn into a stop motion production.
Yeah.
So, you know,
that'd be fun.
We'll see. Yeah. Just did the mood board for that. And did like a synopsis, brief treatment. So I'm gonna start storyboarding it this weekend, and you know, hopefully all goes well.
Ooh, well, I wish you all the luck, man.
Yeah,
good. Thank you.
Very nice. And I've been super busy. Obviously, got to prep these shows. I just saw Ghostbusters today, Afterlife. So I will I'm not going to give my full review. I will make a separate video on my full review, but I'll give my impressions. No spoilers, obviously. I don't want to spoil this for you guys. You got to go out and see it yourself. But I'll give you my impressions. And you know, it was a fun time. We'll just say that to start off. Yeah, I've been cutting stuff, waiting for a VFX job that's going to happen next week. So that'll be handed over to me next week, and then we got Thanksgiving and everything. So lots and lots of cutting, lots and lots of show prepping. And then obviously we're going to make a film too at some point. We need to meet up and devise that plan, but I'm very excited to see what we're going to come up with.
Yeah, in terms of the MCU, we're still in our solo films as of right now. We haven't came together yet. All our plates aren't clear yet, you know. But yeah, for sure, you know, us 3 will be making something in the future, and that'll be very exciting to get to.
Exactly. If you guys are listening to this on Spotify, I know because we're on Spotify and all the podcast platforms, you just got to search The Rendered Image and you can find us. If you're out there, you can go on YouTube, type in Tyler Babb, find my icon with my Harry Potter hat, or you can the show will pop up. You can find it, click subscribe, and you can join the community that way. It really helps out if you want to watch the live show.
And see our beautiful faces.
Yeah, if you want to be with us live, that'd be fun. with that being said, let's waste no time, guys. I think we should just jump right into analyzing the trailer. What I did is I took some screenshots of what I think to be the juiciest moments. So the trailer opens up, and it was cool. I did see the trailer in theaters tonight in front of Ghostbusters, obviously, which was really cool to see. I was like, ooh. But then the theater was like dead silent, like nobody cheered or whatever. And I was like, come on, people.
They're like, we've seen this on the internet already.
Probably, I would assume.
I saw this one already. Come on.
Yeah,
Come
man.
on.
That's what I was waiting to see when I went to go. Like, I'm going to go to the movies this weekend, and I cannot wait to see this trailer on the big screen. So that's awesome that you got to see it.
It was pretty sweet. It was pretty awesome. So the trailer opens up. Obviously, we have this shot of a sad-looking Tom Holland. Very sad, very sad. I think this is going to be the movie that defines him as Spider-Man. True. I don't know. I have lots of feels about this movie. I'm skeptical.
He's gonna get a lot of shit thrown at him.
He is. I'm skeptical, right? Like I don't want to, because a lot of people think about it as like, oh, this movie's gonna be life changing. It's like it very well could be in a way, because it's like if and again, I want to address this. So I had my trailer reaction, and there was a comment on the trailer reaction that I did where somebody was like, "Oh, way to give it," or like, "Sorry, dude, but you gave it away," or something. And I'm like, "What did I didn't give anything away. I don't know anything about this movie." Like I guess maybe I said something about like, "Oh, I don't need to see Tobey and Andrew in the trailer. Like, don't show me them. Save it for the movie." And I don't know if he meant that, like, "Oh, like I don't know anything. Like I don't work for Sony. I'm just like everybody else. I don't know any sort of secret thing or whatever.
You're definitely not the first person to say it, so I don't know why.
I don't know. And I commented. And if you're watching this, please let me know. Let me know what you meant by that, because I commented back and I'm like, what did I give away? Like I don't know. Maybe I don't know. It's all speculation at this point. If they're in there, there's hints. There's obviously hints to what we think may be having them in there.
Yeah, everything's like rumored, everything's on the edge. So
it's rumored / very, I mean, if you're gonna ask me, 98% positive they're in the movie. That's just me, based on things that have been leaked. I'm not gonna talk about them, but if you've seen some stuff that's leaked, which we've had conversations about, but either way, the trailer opens up. He's very sad, and he's talking to MJ, basically saying like, "Oh, ever since I got bit by the spider, I had one normal week, which was the week that you found out." Blah 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 blah.
Aww.
And I don't know
Tyler,
if that's
Tyler, real quick, check the comments, check the chat.
Oh,
identical sound to.
This is Inquisitor K says, on Twitter, I have a tweet where I show 3 videos comparing the sounds of Peter's web launchers. In the trailer, there is a moment where Peter throws the cobwebs, and it sounds similar to Andrew's. Oh, really? Can you does he say on Twitter? Yeah, go check out his Twitter. At minute 2, the identical sound to Andrew's web shooters is heard. Well, due to copyright stuff, I can't play the trailer, but I definitely will check that out. And yeah, guys, if you're interested, he time-stamped that at 2:08 on the trailer, so very interesting. Welcome, Inquisitor K. How you doing? If you got any more insights on the trailer, let us know, because that's super cool.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. Speaking of Andrews, I heard a lot of people say something about the glove is part of Andrew as well. There's a lot of stuff
that's not true. Yeah, I downloaded.
Like, where is he?
No, yeah, that's not true. I downloaded this thing in 4K. I was like, no, that's Tom's hand.
I went pixel by pixel, dude.
I watched this. It's for yeah. So he says, oh, the one normal week that I had was when you found out, and it really kind of frames the movie and the comic storyline. One More Day. I wonder if that's what it's kind of referencing, or if we're kind of loosely playing on that thing where he makes the deal, with Mephisto. We're not I don't think we're going to go Mephisto route, but I think they're
Doctor
taking
Strange route.
they're taking some sort of some things from that trailer or from that storyline and putting them into the story for sure.
Yeah, very much loosely based. The idea, the main concept of him making a deal, but based on his identity, it's there. Yeah, for
Right.
sure.
But such a sad Tom Holland here, man.
Tony Stark ain't around to help him now, bitch. No,
Oh, jeez.
And then, they're swinging around and kind of stuff that we've already seen, the billboard shot where it's like public enemy number 1, blah, 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 blah. And like he's swinging around with MJ. And then we get this shot shortly after that shows this new suit that he's got, right? Well,
this is the same magical one, right? With the
you can see his wrist. Now, hate to burst anyone's bubble, but it's a brand new suit, but not really. If you remember back in Homecoming when they tried to like hack the suit, it's the same suit, it's just flipped inside out.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the same. He's got the gauntlet, which is super cool.
Mm-hmm. I wonder what forces him, or like what event will make him switch the suit from turning inside out. Maybe battle damaged, or maybe, since he's getting a lot of hate, maybe, I don't know. It depends. Maybe he got tomatoes thrown at him or some paints being tossed on him. Who knows? I'm curious to see what's the reason for that. Because I think that's cool. It's a pretty smart idea to turn the suit inside out. Boom, new suit.
I wonder.
What do you guys think of this black and gold look? I'm curious to think what you guys.
I like it. I think
like, oh my god.
No, I mean,
I'll drink
especially with how it's going to be associated with the whole, the sorcerer thing going on. So it has like this really cool, like maybe this magical thing to it. I don't know. But I like the black and gold. That's pretty neat. Why it looks like that, I don't know. I mean, maybe he needs to go stealthy or something like that. I mean, this
night monkey
scene obviously takes place during the nighttime, and if based off of the trailer, it looks like he's fighting Electro at this point. So I don't know. Maybe
that does
he's
look
just
like yellow
trying
lighting.
not to stand out. So
yeah, I wonder what it's because it seems like this suit is kind of short-lived in the film.
Didn't the toy come out though? Wasn't there like a McFarlane toy or a Hot Toy?
It was a Hot Toy, yeah.
Toy.
Yep.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Although the circles in the trailer, I think were like an orangey yellow, but on that Hot Toy they were blue. I don't know if that was just for the Hot Toy or they were just basing it off of concept art, and of course they probably changed it later. But I found that pretty interesting.
Yeah, I got that screenshots later.
Nice.
And then we cut and we see Doc Ock, and him fighting, all that type of stuff. And this is what I found interesting here in this one was he's ripping or the nano suit, right? The nanotechnology that the Iron Spider suit is made out of. There's a hole in his chest. And so when this arm comes at his chest, it falls down to protect his chest and away from his face. It's a great shot. Like, it's super cool that it goes to protect his chest and then we see his face. But clearly Doc Ock is ripping the suit apart. What do you guys think? Do you guys like the suit? I've heard a lot of people that are like, good. I'm glad that Doc Ock is like tearing this apart.
It's not a bad suit, man. I didn't think it was a bad suit design to begin with. It's nice and sleek. One thing I found hilarious when going back and reading the Civil War comic was realizing that the comic version of the Iron Spider suit only has 3 arms, which I found was weird. It doesn't have the 4. It has 2 that comes up and then 1 kind of like a tail on the bottom, and that's kind of how it's shaped. And so I do admire how the MCU gave him like equal 4 arms, in the back. I'm like, that's pretty cool. And
it makes sense because last time I checked, spiders have 8 legs.
Exactly. So I'm like, yeah, I don't know. Maybe got 1 ripped off somewhere in another storyline. Who knows? But I saw 3. I'm like, is that right? I was like, that's weird.
I see we're up to 13 likes already. Can we get us up to 15? That'd be great, guys. Get
Just
us up
two
to
more.
get us up to 15. We just need 2 more.
That's all we ask. Yeah, suit's not bad, but I do want like a traditional like suit that was I like it's made by Peter. I'm done with the Stark Tech stuff. I want to have a suit that he makes himself.
I think I wonder how it's gonna go because I wonder if there's a screenshot of it in my screenshots, but I think I figured out what they're gonna do. Unless they're doing all sorts of visual effects trickery in this
Wow.
in this trailer to hide things and everything like that. So
Inquisitor
Oh.
K, hello from Spain. Wow.
yeah, Inquisitor. He says he doesn't understand much English. I'm usually translator. Oh, greeting. Hi. How you doing?
That's awesome.
How you doing? Greetings from Spain. I'm glad we've reached Spain. That's pretty cool.
We've gone international, guys.
Oh yeah.
Well, welcome. Hey, Inquisitor K. Well, one, I like the name. Is that a Star Wars reference or is that something else?
Has to be a Star Wars reference.
I hope you can understand.
My money's on Star Wars reference.
I think so. Well, yeah, that's what is there an Inquisitor K in the Jedi Fallen Order or no? Because I never played that game. But there are Inquisitors in that game, right?
Yeah, but the Inquisitors are they name themselves as like their titles are like siblings, so brother and sister, and a number to it. So you're not going to have like a letter Inquisitor and then it's going to be a letter. It's going to be, first brother, second sister, seventh brother, sixth sister.
Got it.
Things like that.
I see you say it's a Halo reference, which I don't play Halo, but
Halo. Oh,
I heard. Did you see
the trailer?
Yeah, did you see that trailer for?
Look, I'm not a big Halo fan, but that looks pretty fucking cool. It looks pretty good, man.
Long overdue.
Yeah, I wish Uncharted had that treatment, but oh well. Another story for another time.
Another story for another time. Well, we're glad that you're here, Inquisitor. Let us know what you thought of the trailer. Did you like the trailer? Are you excited? How long have you been a Spider-Man fan? Do you love Spider-Man as much as we do? Because we love us and me and everything. So we love us some Spider-Man. There's more coming up about the Stark Tech and everything in these next couple images, but we go on to the next one. And then it looks like they're imprisoned in something, right? They capture them clearly. And I'm curious, how do you guys feel about this? So the joke that happens where they're like, oh, what's your name? And then he's like, Otto Octavius and like, blah, blah. Did that make you laugh?
No.
The humor doesn't really get you? I don't know. I chuckled, but I wasn't like...
That's one of my problems with these Tom Holland Spider-Man movies is that they have a lot of cute moments in there. Some of them work, others don't. And it just felt like I don't know who is this catering to. Maybe younger generation. I'm not sure, but it just didn't land for me like other jokes. But that's just me. Yeah, I feel like we all share the same opinion. you know?
I mean, it made, I was like, funny because his name. It's like I get it. But yeah, then it did kind of seem like it's like, oh, are you poking fun at the source material? Like, what are we doing here a little bit?
Right.
Yeah.
The same thing.
Well, I mean, this is a universe that, names with alliteration are all over the place. Peter Parker.
Right.
Otto Octavius. Bruce Banner.
Yeah.
J. Jonah Jameson. Come on. So yeah, I didn't laugh at that.
Very true. You see, this time could have been like taken up with like more interesting dialogue because this fucking Alfred Molina from Spider-Man 2's Raimi's universe. Like this is time to explain some stuff, but you're wasting it with like a cheap little cute. Well,
I think this is. I think this is the scene where we get the explanation of what's going down.
Yeah,
I feel like he's gonna be the one that explains it to us. Of like, this is how I got here. Here's my story, and then.
Do you think this is the version of Otto Octavius that has already died and came back, or do you think he's pulled out from a certain point in time? or something else entirely? At this point, now that we have 2 trailers out.
It's
Well, I think that's going to be a key plot point.
Yeah.
yeah.
Because later on in the trailer, Strange is saying that all these people have something in common,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I don't know if they were pulled out. The most logical thing was, excuse me, the most logical thing would be that they were pulled out before they were killed.
Yeah, I would assume that would be the case.
So I don't know.
So with that, say if that's the case, do you think we'll get like little re-showings of like the scenes from each movie, but with them maybe like disappearing, kind of like a snap situation in the MCU that we've seen before, or just characters like disappear, or they went to another thing? Do you think we'll see scenes from those past movies that'll be altered if that's the case? That'd be pretty trippy. and they're not a stranger to it.
I don't know though, because those films, with the exception of the Garfield films, the Sam Raimi ones,
mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Because they're not totally a stranger to it. Remember Endgame? They went back and they showed clips from different movies and stuff. They went back during that time. Sure, I know it's all underneath the MCU, of course.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it might be wishful thinking. Originally I was like, I think I had, and they could be keeping this under the, in their utility belt or whatever. Originally I was like, oh, Tom's going to go into their universe for a second or blah, blah, blah. And I don't think that's going to happen anymore. Who knows? It still could. They could be, I think they're hiding a lot from this trailer.
Oh yeah.
I think they're keeping, because realistically they showed us the bridge fight with him, with Doc Ock, that probably is in the beginning of the movie.
We've seen that in multiple iterations of
mm-hmm.
what they put out. So
right, and then we kind of get the end. What I assume is the end battle, right? Or maybe it's not the end battle. Who knows?
Do you think? Speaking of end battles, do you think that these are all the villains? There's 5 so far. People counted. Do you think there is a mysterious 6 in there? Do you think maybe Vulture's going to come up and he's the 6th, or do you think there's a hidden big bad in this?
I think so. On Jimmy Kimmel last night, Michael Keaton was interviewed, and he said that he's still today. It was either today or tomorrow. He's going to film more stuff as for Vulture. So I don't know if that's a post-credit scene.
Morbius?
I don't know. Yeah, that could be more Morbius stuff.
I think it's probably Morbius.
Probably, yeah.
Because this isn't good.
Or
we're talking.
Or I mean,
from now.
Yeah, Doctor Strange is reshooting as well, so it could be Doctor Strange.
We're talking a month from distribution, guys.
Pretty much.
This thing is either
today.
in the can. Yeah, it's too late for any reshoots. So get that out of your head. There are no more reshoots for Spider-Man No Way Home. If anything, they've got last-minute editing and VFX work to do.
Yeah.
And then they can send it out. But this thing, for all intents and purposes, is in the can. And we have to assume that. So there are no reshoots. There are no.
Well, that's what they want you.
No, Shannon's probably definitely right.
No, he is. I'm just fucking around.
But so do you? So all right. So here's my question: does anybody get a feeling that Doc Ock is going to switch sides?
Dude, that's the first initial reaction I got from it.
Because he was never really a bad guy.
No, especially how we left him off.
Right. In Spider-Man 2. He's always been, a good guy. He's just been kind of a little strange. A little, misunderstood. So
well, then I think that ties into what we were talking about earlier about like at what point are they pulled, right?
Yeah.
So if he's pulled into the MCU and the arms have, they're the dominant personality, then yeah, we're gonna get, bad guy, Dr. Octopus. But if we're at that point, at some point where, excuse me. Oh God, I think it's dry air, but I'm like having coughing fits.
Oh, good.
That's all right.
Get back to me. Get back to me.
For sure.
The idea of the tentacles.
Yeah.
Because since they've been shown to be red, they maybe have taken over, and I wonder if that's a conscious choice that Otto has made, knowing his fate, that'd be interesting.
I have an idea. I have a theory.
What is it?
I realized this today and I was like, oh man. Let's see if we can get to, is it the next shot? I don't know. It's the next
Are we
one
jumping too far?
No. All right, I'll bring it up. We're out of order here, obviously. No, not that one.
Hey, that's
Not
the background.
That one. Not that one.
Every time I see that with the pumpkin bomb, I think of Spider-Man 3.
One.
With Eddie Brock.
This one. All right, so we're that's my favorite. That's my favorite shot, dude. Him jumping for that pumpkin bomb. I love it. So this is interesting. So this is the nanotech of his suit, of Spider-Man's suit, going onto the tentacles. Like you can see it in the trailer. It's growing on his tentacles. Now, I'm very curious because if he has nanotech, do you remember what the first thing Peter Parker says to Norman Osborn and Tobey Maguire in Spider-Man 1?
No.
I've read your book on nanotechnology.
Oh, that's cool. Interesting.
So that means that Norman knows how to work with this stuff. Which I thought was very interesting. I was like, oh. So I wonder.
Do you think that there could be some time shenanigans going on?
What do you mean?
That maybe what we're seeing in this particular scene is Otto Octavius going back to this point in time at some point in the future of the film, and he's obtained the tech from Stark or from Stark Tech or from Peter, and they go back in time to, because I got a feeling something like that's going to happen because Doctor Strange still has a time stone, and it's more than just opening up dimensions to different realities. We're talking about space-time manipulation,
right?
So maybe there at some point, this whole scene on the expressway, there's some nexus point, and they got to get back to it. I don't know. I'm just spitballing.
You bring up a good question. I always think another nexus point could be something in this film is going to be a nexus point. I think either that's MJ's potential death or something. I think is going to be
and that plays into what you set up, Shannon. Him being on their side, like Strange does have the time stone, but what if they go back in time? And they have to they need the nanotechnology earlier at a certain point, and they're like, the only one that has it is Spider-Man. So we have to make sure he attacks But that's so funny because it's like one of the Spider-Men could be initiating this, maybe Tom Holland himself. He's like, yeah, I had this suit at that time. We need to go back at that time to get it, and then that could be that Nexus event. Like we need to get a certain material ahead of time than we actually did. And that would make it seem like, he's fighting him in the beginning, but then of course will be explained as to why they're actually teamed up. I don't know. That's a pretty good idea, that there's time travel involved, because you're right. The time stone is still with Strange. And I was thinking to myself, how would they be traveling in time? Would they take the technology that the Avengers had from Endgame? But I'm like, no. And then you mentioned the time stone and you're like, there you go. That's perfect. That's pretty cool.
They I wouldn't be, well, first of all, thank you for subscribing, Inquisitor K. I appreciate it. We all appreciate it here. Thank you so much for joining the community. But I don't hate the idea of Doc Ock or Green Goblin and Doc Ock or all these guys, taking the Stark tech, taking the Hank Pym technology. I don't know if there are any Pym particles or not left in the world. but I wouldn't hate that idea of them being able to do that as a group.
Well, the bad guy, one of the bad guys from the first Ant-Man, got away with some PIM particles. He was the guy who worked for S.H.I.E.L.D.,
yeah,
aka Hydra. So he still has some, technically, because we don't know what's happened to him.
Mm-hmm.
And even if he was dusted, he's back, you know. And as far as the PIM particles go, that's a good question because, you know, we don't know what's going on with that, but that could be explained in Doctor Strange for the next Doctor Strange movie,
right?
Or they may be waiting for Quantumania. So I don't know.
And that's also not forget. I mean, think about it. We have, you know, for these villains, we have the mind of Norman Osborn, the mind of Otto Octavius, the mind of Doc Connors, the mind of Electro. Like, it's a lot of like smart people coming together. Who knows what they're gonna create? You know.
Yeah, a lot of his villains are scientists. So
a lot of them are. Yeah, I mean,
but then also a lot of them are psychotic.
True.
You know, it's like Norman Osborn's a genius, but are you going to be talking to Norman Osborn, or are you going to be talking to the Goblin? Because if you're talking to the Goblin, he doesn't give a shit.
No,
he wants chaos and destruction.
He wants chaos. So if we're talking about this image, do you guys? I don't know if you guys noticed, but on his chest, there's a cell phone or some sort of screen that's attached to his chest. That it's got MJ and Ned on that screen.
Ah, I see it now. Interesting.
I have no idea what that's about.
Huh. Or is that like a hologram from his wrist? Or no,
that's the gauntlet. Yeah, that's got those.
Yeah, I know. I see those, but I also see the image on there because it kind of looks like it's coming down flat like that on his chest. Yeah, that's kind of weird.
I don't know what that is, but clearly they're trying to.
Very impractical.
They're trying to see something. I wonder how they can, like, what do they need to see? Like, I understand them being like in his earpiece, you know what I'm saying? So they can feed him information, but it must be, they need to be able to see something from his point of view.
Yeah, I don't know.
Huh. Interesting. Let us know in the chat if you got any theories about any of this, because we're open to whatever you feel. Let's see, then we got this one, obviously.
There he is.
There he is right there. There he is right there.
And he's got his mustache.
Do you think they're going to... All right, here's my question for you. Do you think that him and Tobey are going to get a scene together? If Tobey's in the movie?
I don't really think so. They won't probably spend too much time on that. Like, just from the looks of this shot, it looks like he'll probably be like a cameo character again, sadly. You know, I would like for him to have a scene, but who knows how much is going to get left on the cutting room floor. That might be a deleted scene. You know, we never know. But I would like for maybe that to be like an introduction, like they're back at the office, the Daily Bugle office. How cool would that be? You know, they're back in their roles like they were in the Raimi-verse.
I would love to see that.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool. But I hope he has more screen time. But to me, it feels like he's just going to be like a here or there character. You know, maybe say one funny line, and then it'll just like, oh, he still exists and he's still around. You know, and but yeah, what's funny about this is because it reminds me of his Commissioner Gordon in Justice League. So he
does look like that.
Really similar, yeah. But it's still awesome. Yeah, I hope he gets more screen time than I expect. You know, but
he probably went from one set to the other just like that.
Just take off the glasses, you'll be fine.
And then here we go. This shot.
He shows up in Flash, right? Is he gonna show up in Flash? I thought he was.
Oh,
I don't know. Is he?
I don't know. Maybe. I know Ben is, obviously, so I think he might make an appearance. And then we have this shot, which I think this might be my favorite shot of the trailer. There's just something about like Tom Holland's version mixed with the Willem Dafoe's Pumpkin Bomb. I don't know what. It's just something about this, like the crossing of the universes like this, and this one shot. This is like the perfect shot for me because it's like, yeah, these guys are going to come in and just wreck so much of his world. And I'm excited for him to experience that.
You know what I really want to see are the pumpkins that like break out into those blades and that start spinning.
Oh, I think we got some of those in the trailer.
Yeah, I think we did too, man. That'd be so cool because I remember I love when in Spider-Man 3 Tobey's like, God, I hate those things. It's like that out of all of them, that's the one he remembers because those are a motherfucker,
So here's my question. So in this and when MJ is falling, I wonder if, because realistically, same thing that Peter Parker does in Spider-Man 3 when Harry chucks the pumpkin bomb at him off the wall. He dodges it. It flies past him. He webs it with his web shooter, and then he chucks it back at Harry, and it blows up his face. So why isn't Tom webbing the bomb? You know what I'm saying? Clearly, Tom he could do that. He could easily just thwip and grab the bomb and chuck it away, but he can't do that for some reason. Either he's out of webs or, which would be great. That'd be an excuse, I guess. That'd be fine with me. But same thought process happens with MJ at the end of this trailer when she's falling. He doesn't use the webs. Now, that was Andrew's shortcoming in Amazing Spider-Man 2. Because Gwen is falling and he decides to use the webs, but obviously, spoilers for the people who haven't seen Amazing Spider-Man 2, Gwen Stacy dies. Because Andrew used the webs. So I'm wondering if him and Andrew have a conversation at some point and he tells the story and he's like, don't use the webs or, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And that's why Tom's not using the webs to save MJ. I don't know.
That could be a good excuse for MJ, but not really a good excuse for the pumpkin. Like he's going bare hand
right.
with that.
Yeah,
already exploding.
Yeah, this one I'm not too sure about, but
I would like to think maybe, because I love that shot in The Amazing Spider-Man where the lizard grabs his wrists and he breaks his web shooters and he's unable to use that.
Yeah.
I would like for something similar to happen here because he looks like he's wearing the Iron Spider suit, if I'm not wrong. The nanotech.
So, yes. So there's another shot, or there's a shot where he pulls down the mask. I think what he's done is, because remember that hole in the suit?
Yeah. So
he's using that to protect his chest, but he doesn't have the mask anymore. So he takes the mask from the other suit and you can see it in the trailer. He pulls his mask down, but he still has the Iron Spider suit on. So I think he's combined them. That could change in the actual movie. Maybe they're just doing stuff for the trailer. Who knows? But
if that's the case, then maybe the suit's web shooters don't work, and maybe he's limited there.
True.
Yeah. Who knows? Yeah, that's a good.
But this is my maybe my favorite part of the trailer. Anything to do with Green Goblin or Willem Dafoe wrecking his life, I'm down. I hope we get a lot of that in the trailer or in the movie. And so then we got this shot. Now, I feel like this and the previous shot are in the same place, right?
Yeah.
They look very similar in lighting and in tone. So, Green Goblin just has an affinity for these Aunt Mays.
Especially this one. Oh, man. Yeah, this is very, very interesting because it looks like she's rushing towards something rather than running away. To me, that's how it seems like. To me, like she's maybe gonna go and help. Maybe, I don't know, maybe sacrifice. I don't know. This looks like she's darting towards something. Like she has like she's angry and worried, but yet she's like determined to probably do something. Who knows? I don't know. What are you guys think? Think she's running away or running towards something?
I think she's running away from something. I'm gonna sit in the away camp.
Yeah, it could be towards something. Because that looks like determination.
Yeah, she does.
I mean, she could be determined to get away from something, or she could be determined to get to something. It could be either or.
Yeah.
All we know is that Aunt May's running.
Aunt May's
running in a house, and there's a red light. So who knows what's going on, right? It's tinted red. Danger. I don't know.
Danger.
Do you think she's going to be one of the people to go in this movie?
No.
No. You're like, no. Come on.
No, I don't think she's. I think
Can't
we're
get rid
gonna
of
get.
Mrs.
I think
Summer.
we're gonna get close, but I think Peter will save her.
Because oh man, I mean, not to spoil stuff, but you guys played the Spider-Man game, right, on the PS4?
Yes.
No.
Oh man.
Oh, don't spoil it. Don't spoil it for
Okay.
Shannon. Then
Woo.
I did. Yes.
Anyway, great stuff. Anyway,
And then we get our first shot of Electro here, our new revamped Electro, played by Jamie Foxx.
Proper. Electro.
Yeah. The proper Electro. Sony clearly learned their lesson. And they were like, "Oh well, we have to not make him blue anymore." So what do you guys think of this? It's cool, but like with the whole like design, and if you watch the trailer, it looks like the shape on his face and everything happens when he charges up. So he doesn't have it, but when he's ready to like shoot the electricity, that thing like comes
it arcs
on
up and ready.
Yeah, it arcs
I
up.
like it. I think it's awesome. I mean, I think this is a great interpretation of comic Electro because his mask is the same exact shape.
Yeah.
I mean, it's goofy. Like when you look at the in the comic, it's like, who in their right mind is going to wear a mask like that? But they took that shape and they adapted it into something that would be practical.
It makes
like
sense.
You said,
yeah.
If he's charging up, to the point of discharge, electricity is going to build up into capacitors to the point where those capacitors can't retain the charge so much, and then it's going to start to arc out. And that's what you can assume what his mask is practically is, he's charging up to the point where all the excess electricity is arcing, and then he discharges it.
Right.
I think it's brilliant.
It also could be protecting his face. Be kind of interesting to see if maybe if he could get punched in the face, but it charges up and it like protects him from being punched. I don't know. That'd be kind of interesting.
Like a force field. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's possible.
It'd also be cool, like to deflect bullets into to see him get shot up. It's like that'd be pretty.
Or it disintegrates bullets.
Oh,
right.
I mean,
exactly.
Cool.
Lightning is plasma, right? It's charged plasma, and a lightning strike could be as hot or hotter than the surface of the sun. So you could easily, if he has that much control over electricity, you could use that to disintegrate bullets as well as disintegrate people. So
yeah, I wonder how. Obviously, we're gonna. It's a PG-13, so obviously we're not gonna get too crazy with the violence from Electro, but Electro he could do some damage.
We saw people get disintegrated in Spider-Man 2002.
Yes, but this is
and that wasn't rated R.
No,
right?
that wasn't rated R. You're right.
And those skeletons were like for a few seconds before they fell apart. So
that was so cool, man. That was awesome.
That is true. But yeah, I mean, so this is obviously this shot. I kind of laughed at this. Not laughed at this, but it's like, did we really have to like CG? That's a CG version of Jamie Foxx. Like,
oh yeah,
no bones about it. And obviously it's probably unfinished. I get it, but why not just use the real? Why not just use the real him? I don't understand.
And it was probably only meant for like a split second or two.
I know.
True.
Or analyzing it too much, but I'm just like,
But it's Jamie Foxx. I mean,
it's Jamie Foxx.
I find it interesting how it looks like in the center it starts blue and then it goes into yellow. So I like how they're kind of keeping that little aesthetic from the other version of him.
I wonder if that's again Stark Tech. I just have a feeling that these guys got their hands on some Stark Tech.
It sucks because I like my Spider-Man without so much Iron Man influence, but yeah, it makes sense. It's awesome. If you're gonna amp these characters up and
it could still be Oscorp too. Who knows?
For sure, we don't truly.
Yeah, no, it could be.
Or a hybrid.
Hell, it could be Hammer Industries.
What?
It could be
Hammer out. Wow, that's cool.
I love to see Sam Rockwell back.
Fuck it, it's AIM.
All right, so now
Nope.
this
Could
one,
be AIM.
Yeah,
This-
there you go.
this shot is probably the most intriguing shot of the trailer for me, and the one that raises the most questions, because why is Doc Ock falling here? Again, kind of maybe goes and backs up the idea that, because again, is Electro attacking him, or what's going on? Because he's falling from Electro's blast, obviously.
He could be attacking him, or this could be like a moment where Spider-Man gets the best of him and they attack each other. But yeah, you're probably right. You know, that's again a lot of things are pointing towards Otto's going to be an ally.
And I think
Which
that
is
bleeds into
interesting.
the conundrum, I think, that we see later on in the trailer, right? When Strange tells Peter, "There's no other way. I'm sorry," you know, which is like, because think of that, like if Otto's on their side and if Otto becomes a friend, then it's like all of a sudden, you know, you're told that he's got to die in order for everything to get right. This guy who's your brand new friend and ally, either you got to kill him or
that is true. Now I didn't think about that, but that would make perfect sense to why Peter would be like, no, sorry.
Yeah,
because he feels for him. I hope that happens. If that doesn't happen, I'm gonna be like, Shannon, why didn't you join the writing team? You should have just made the movie, like, because
I mean, I think that's
right.
pretty apparent because the trailer set that up pretty well. After Strange's voiceover, him explaining that they all have something in common, and even Holland kind of like disagrees with that. You know, he's like, "Well, I have to save him." You know, and I think that's when they cut to him web whipping and pulling on the little cube. That
the
Strange
mother box.
Yeah, the little mother box that Strange has.
The mother box.
Just need 2 more of those fuckers. We get Darkseid. But yeah, it's like
Thanos.
Yeah,
No,
Thanos?
not Thanos.
Omega beams. Oh man, that'd be so awesome.
That
But yeah,
awesome.
I wonder what that
Meh.
cube is. Maybe that's where they're imprisoned. But yeah, that whole part where they're like, yeah, they're gonna set up Strange and Spider-Man going against each other.
Yeah, for a bit. I wonder what makes them reconcile. Who knows?
Oh, and I saw something on Instagram about Go ahead and keep talking. Hold on.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
So Christian saw something on Instagram, but yeah, I don't know what makes. I'm curious to see what makes Doctor Strange and Peter stop their fighting.
Unless he convinces Doctor Strange, or Doctor Strange realizes that there might be an alternative. Again, we have no idea the level of, I mean, we get a sense, but we have no idea the level of damage that is happening to the multiverse here.
Right.
I mean, we get that scene of the purple aurora, and and he's like saying, "I don't know if I could stop it." It's like, well, stop what? Who's coming through? Like,
Who's coming through? Yeah, exactly.
What is that? What is that exactly? So.
Okay, so I saw, I agree with you, Shannon. I don't disregard what you said, Shannon. I agree. But what I saw on Instagram that said Tom Holland emphasizes that the Spider-Man no killing rule is a big thing, like a big part of this movie. And so that just makes me think that, yeah, it further proves that he doesn't want these villains to die. He wants to save them in some form or way, and that leads to the sacrifice, that you guys brought up. So yeah, just furthering the point there, because I saw something, I'm like, oh, that's interesting how they pointed out like the no killing rule is something important for this new film. So that's probably what it could be.
Yeah, and I think Otto is prime for a heel turn or face turn, heel turn. I don't know.
Face turn, heel turn?
Heel turn, because he's a heel, so then he turns to a face. Got it. So I could see that most because, it was his accident and being grafted to the arms that caused his insanity. And once he was able to finally control the arms and dominate the arms, he pretty much came back to normal. Right?
Yeah.
Because it was the arms that was messing with his head.
Mm-hmm.
So I think if there's a way that MCU Spider-Man can get to him, to Otto, right? And he finds a way to, to get out of the domination of the AI in the arms, and then he assumes control again. I can see him being a good guy, or at the very least an anti-hero,
right?
Because that was, it was the insanity caused by the AI in the arms that made him a bad guy in Spider-Man 2.
Do you think he's going to be a sacrifice?
If he's sacrificed, it's going to be him who makes that sacrifice, just like in Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, for sure.
And that will be in keeping with his character, because it's exactly what he does in Spider-Man 2.
Right.
He's probably gonna be like, damn it again.
I hope so, because he's obviously not in. Well, we don't see him in the fighting the other villains or whatever. So
Yeah.
Unless he's doing his own thing.
We
I
don't
don't
know.
know.
Yeah, who knows?
It would be really cool if that's the case. If he's an ally, even for a brief moment, that would be so. How cool would it be if we had Alfred Molina versus Willem Dafoe? Just for like a brief moment, Goblin versus Otto Octavius.
That'd be kind of cool. I would like to see. Yeah, I would like to see some sort of quarrel between the villains. Like they don't quite get along. They kind of have their own agendas.
Mm.
They come together at some point, obviously, but it'd be kind of nice to see that.
I just thought of something. I'm gonna save it till the end, but I just thought.
All right, for sure.
I'm gonna save it.
Obviously, this is our Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin here, showing up. So this is another thing, right?
Back to formula.
Back to form. Yeah, this should have been what he said. So I've seen in this shot, I've seen a lot of people for some reason, and I don't understand this, but a lot of people are like, "Oh, I wasn't a fan of the suit in the Sam Raimi movies, but I like it here. Like it looks better here." And I'm like, I love the suit from the jump, so I don't understand. I don't know if people just got used to it, or I don't know. I don't understand why all of a sudden this image, or they like it
the
here.
The helmet has obviously been redesigned.
Yes.
And I think that's what people are saying. The suit itself is pretty much the same exact suit. But the mask, the helmet has definitely been redesigned. It's more defined, and it looks better.
It does look better.
So,
the top, if I remember, again, we all know me. I've seen Spider-Man the first one many times. The top of the mask in the Raimi version sticks up more, doesn't it? And I think
so.
this one's bent back a little bit more, I think. I don't know if that has anything to do with it or not, but and the eyes are more sunken in.
Is it just me, or does it look smoother too? Like there's less texture on the top of the head. Like for me, I remember like a helmet, like there was maybe texture on the top of the head.
Maybe.
This looks more like it's kind of like mimicking skin, the top of the head. It looks like a bald,
maybe
like a bald goblin head.
Yeah, it looks more solid, where
Yeah.
you could see like the plates and stuff in Spider-Man 1.
Mhm.
I think this is a more solid piece. So, and then you don't see the mesh in his mouth.
True.
So
I wonder if the eyes go up.
Oh,
hey, who knows,
dude?
Or it might be some type of thing where the gold, it's like it could be nanotech, where instead of it just being a mechanical visor like in the first movie, it just and then it's a clear visor.
That would make sense. That would make
What if
sense.
the whole helmet is like that? What if this whole suit's nanotech?
And it just
yeah.
Miss me, Peter.
Back to formula.
Did you miss me? Let's take you back to formula.
Time to go for the heart, Peter. For the heart.
I'm excited. So do you think, obviously he's coming through smoke here, do you think this is the first time we see him in the movie?
I think so. I think this is the expressway scene.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, yeah,
I just didn't know if this is the first time he makes an appearance in the film, or
I honestly probably think no, because there's another shot of him without a helmet or without like a different suit. And he has like goggles on.
Mhm.
So that could be, who knows? I'm just spitballing here. What if they come back in some like broken way and they just like reforge themselves? And this is him reforged. You know, he found his equipment back, or he found nanotech and he built the suit again. You know, and now this is him reappearing like how we know him to be.
Interesting.
Maybe, you know, that's just me spitballing there, but you know, it could be the first time because yeah, it does look like the highway scene. Similar lighting for sure. And plus, we have seen the bombs on the highway scene as well. So
Yeah, no, I think for sure this is highway stuff. Here's the shot that you were talking about.
Speak of the devil.
And this, you know, I know a lot of people are like, oh, this is Ned as Hobgoblin, or this is James Frank. This is or this is James Franco's new Goblin. No, there are many examples. Or Dane DeHaan. No, this is Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin. You can tell. It's the same glider. It's, if you look close enough, I know it's blurry, but if you look close enough, it's Willem Dafoe's shape of his face. So
yeah, such a cool shot.
But and there's your, I think they're called, I think like, oh, I think that, no, I know they're called razor bats. That's the
razor bats.
Yeah, I'm a dork, but that's what they're called as they kick out and spin. Now, how cool! I don't know. I'm so excited. I'm so excited to see Willem Dafoe and Tobey fight again. I want to see a reunion. Please, 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 please. Oh, it's a good shot. Then we got this one, the big. Now here's my question: how do you fight this Sandman? How do you fight Sandman? How do you do that? How on earth?
Water.
Yeah, I guess
a bucket of water.
Lots of water.
I would be cracking up if I say, you know, one of the three Spider-Men are there and one of them just grabs a bucket of water and just while the other two are actually going and fighting, one just that'd be amazing,
right? They're by the Statue of Liberty, so yeah, they could easily just be filling buckets. They got Andrew out there on the filling buckets and tossing them up, and
it is pretty cool though. Like, this is one villain from each of the iterations that we've had. This is fucking insane. This is awesome, dude.
I mean, yeah, we got them all coming together. And this is one thing that I thought of too last night, as I was like, wow, what a great way to make, as Sony, right? Because as a company, like, to make all of your Spider-Man movies relevant, not only like to the current MCU, where it's like now you have to like watch them. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It's all connected now. So it's like, oh yeah, Amazing Spider-Man 2. Like, now that's relevant. Like, now, like, that's part of canon, and it's not something you can kind of skip now. I mean, you could, I guess, but like they make it all matter now, and it's just like those clever.
And we're not going to have a streaming service. You got to pay for them all individually.
Those clever. I just thought that was one, like, kind of genius. I'm like, oh yeah, of course you would do this, where you would be like, because you know, the Amazing Spider-Man 2 wasn't very well received, and Spider-Man 3 really, you know, wasn't really well received, but now it's all tying together, and I just thought that was genius from a marketing perspective.
Oh, for sure.
I thought it was
not to go too far off topic, but the Chucky series, I've been watching that, and I'll be doing a review on my channel when all of it wraps up. The season, only 2 episodes left. But that show takes every movie into consideration, even though 2 straight DVD releases that came out like around 2016, 2017, which are not bad. Those, you know, just because they're straight to DVD releases, I even thought they would be, you know, pretty shitty. I watched them like, damn, they're not half bad. They're better than Bride and Seed of Chucky. They were better than both those films, but it's hilarious how even those goofy films, and then the original Child's Play, and then those 2 direct to DVD movies, they're all considered canon because of this new show. It takes elements from everything. You know, Don Mancini really knows how to weave this crazy narrative, and it's just really fun if you're a Chucky fan, for sure, man. And yeah, when you described that with these Spider-Man movies, that reminded me of that too. I'm like, yeah, great marketing, man. Now you want to go back and watch all those movies.
Yep. I literally thought about it last night, but I was like, oh man, like I want to watch the Amazing Spider-Man 2. Like I don't think it's a great movie, but I was like, oh yeah, like
honestly, like when you walked out of that theater for the first time, when have you ever thought you would say, "I'm going to watch this Amazing Spider-Man 2 again"? I want to watch it again,
dude. I was in denial for a while there about that movie. I was all about that for a minute, and then I just sat back and I'm like, Like by the end of that summer, I was like, it got to be like August and September, and I was like, yeah, that movie.
Yeah, like an intervention. It's like, Tyler, have a seat. We're here to discuss the Amazing Spider-Man.
Tyler, we got to tell you something, buddy.
Well, there was a lot of good. Well, there was a lot of I was in a relationship around that time, and it was so it's a lot of memories tied to specifically the anticipation for that movie. A lot of memories tied to that, so I will always and then it's just like that's another thing too. It's like we anticipated it, and the girl that I was with, like, she was making a Spider-Man costume for me in anticipation for the movie, and then like I wore the costume to the premiere. Wow. It was a great time for that anticipation. But how do you defeat Sand? Yeah, and then I saw the movie and I was like, this is good, right?
But how do you defeat Sand?
And then, well, this is the other thing too, is the one good thing I will say, the Kendrick Lamar music at the end of the film, in the end credits, is very good. It's at least the Alicia Keys and Kendrick Lamar song at the end might be the highlight of the movie. But hey, and that music video is pretty good too. Yeah, but you know, I miss those tie-in songs that they used to have, where you used to just have like phenomenal soundtracks.
I think that was the last tie-in game I bought. Movie tie-in game was the Amazing Spider-Man 2, and that was my first PS4 game. And I'm like, oh, look, I got Spider-Man on the PS4.
I wonder what the last movie tie-in game I bought was. Maybe it was Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix.
Oh, interesting. I never played past anything Goblet of Fire. I played Sorcerer, Chamber, Prisoner, and Goblet of Fire, but I never moved on past that. Always been interested.
And then we got this shot. And you're probably like, all right, Tyler, why did you pick this shot? Well,
hero pose.
It's the superhero pose, but not only that, but I think there's enough room back there for 2 more Spider-Man to land in this hero shot.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I could see it. I could see them in the back popping down after him.
I think that's what's going to happen. Also, too, I like the idea, and I think this is a little wink and a nod from Mr. Kevin Feige himself, but the fact that they are fighting on the Statue of Liberty, which is where they had the X-Men fight in the first X-Men movie. Yeah. I think that's on purpose.
Well, isn't there like a giant Captain America shield on there now?
Yes.
Yeah.
They're building. That's what they're building here. Yeah.
Like an Avengers Memorial or something.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think that's kind of nice. These little Easter eggs and these little hints to past movies for fans, I think, is cool. Now, who knows what's going to happen with the cracking of the multiverse and blah blah blah. But no, yeah, I think the other 2 Spider-Man are coming down in this shot for sure. Then we have this one, which is very interesting because you're like, well, he's not going to take on all 3 of these guys by himself. It's impossible for him to do this.
The lizard conspiracy.
The lizard conspiracy. So if you guys watch the Brazilian trailer, the trailer on the Brazil Sony account, it seems, at first I saw the clip and I didn't believe it. I was like, oh, somebody doctored this. Somebody messed with this. But the lizard is clearly jumping underneath Tom Holland's Spider-Man. So he's not headed for Tom Holland. No. In the Brazil cut, he seemingly gets punched by air because his head jerks to the left. It, like, you clearly see it move. So
a lot of people say John Cena as well.
John Cena could be punching him, But no, clearly, I mean, that's more than, you watch that and it's like, yeah, they're painting these guys out of these shots in particular, probably. I would assume that superhero land, because I'm assuming that the landing that we just saw and then this are connected. I'm thinking that all three of them land there, and then there's that face-off, that 3-shot of the villains, that wide shot of all the villains, and then all three of them jump, and we get this shot. And I
always felt this shot was off because you clearly see Electro and Lizard going opposite directions towards something else.
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
like,
of course.
there.
Of course. Well, again, this is what it's like, all right, I understand where with Electro and Lizard, yeah, you can fight those guys, I guess. Tom, I don't know how you're going to defeat the sand monster guy. Good luck jumping into whatever. Like, what's your plan of attack here, Tom Holland? Like, how are you going to?
Yeah,
You're not going to make it to Sandman. First and foremost, I mean, you look like you're about to fall short. You're not going to quite make it there. He can't fly. I don't know. I guess you could attach yourself to one of the scaffolding thingies, but I don't know. Either way, how do you guys feel about the decision to keep? We don't know, but it's pretty. I think it's pretty clear that they're in the movie. How do you guys feel about the decision to keep them from the trailer and not show the other Spider-Man?
It's the best, the worst kept secret for sure. That would be hilarious how hilarious would it be if they're not in the movie? How disappointing would it be if they're like, yeah, guys, we told you they weren't in the movie. No, but I mean, you had to save something for the movie. I think, if you let your load out too much before the whole thing, then what are you coming to see? Really. But I like to think that there's more surprises that they like even the leakers haven't even known of. I hope like a trend continues since the Luke Skywalker Mandalorian thing. Oh, so well done. Like not even the crew knew what the fuck was going on. Like that's awesome. So maybe something here similar is happening. Big or bad, I don't know. Something.
I don't know.
Surprises.
Yeah. I mean, we're getting towards the end here, and who knows?
Tobey and Andrew, everyone knows that. I think even Sony and Marvel knows. Everyone knows that. It's pretty common knowledge. So yeah, they're going to present them in a very careful way.
Mm-hmm. We got MJ falling, which will she really fall? Who knows? But of course this has to happen because every Spider-Man has to have this moment. Yeah. MJ fell in the first one, then Gwen fell in Andrews. Now Tom. Every Spider-Man's got to experience this moment.
Well, the OG fall is Gwen's. So
yeah.
I mean that's.
So, but I and poor Ned. If you look at the wide shot, because there's one shot before this and then it cuts to this shot. Poor Ned like tries to reach for her, but then like holds onto this pole and then like dangles the pole, like falls, and Ned's hanging on for dear life. I just feel bad for him.
Well, then, I have to ask the question: why are they there?
Yeah. Exactly.
Why are they there? If they're going to be fighting super-powered villains, why are they there?
Yeah. No, you bring up a great point.
And
it's another thing.
That's all I got to say.
Yeah, and it's another thing that they have to sell you on, because that's going to be one thing that would take me out of the movie. There's a lot of things that would kind of make me be not believe this scenario, but yeah, why are they there? And not only that, but you had Andrew experienced that in Amazing Spider-Man 2, where he was like, Gwen, you need to leave. Like, you're going to, I don't want you to get hurt. And she was like, no, I'm staying. So if Andrew's in the movie and he sees these guys around, unless they randomly show up and then this happens right after these guys show up because they think they can help, I don't know. Maybe they don't stay long and then disaster ensues for them. I don't know.
But they better have a damn good reason why they're there.
Yeah.
Because to me, that's a break.
I agree.
That's a logic break. I
agree. It doesn't make, and it's not like these guys haven't been in the rodeo. They've been They experienced Mysterio. They experienced all that destruction in No or Far From Home. So
Yeah.
these guys shouldn't be dumb.
I
Now-
think maybe, what if like they come back through a portal? Like, what if they do dimension hop, and then this is them coming back home, and then they find trapped here, and then there's an ambush of the villains. That is the only way, you know.
Yeah, then I can buy that. But like this whole like, no, we're gonna be with you no matter what, Peter. And it's like, no, because you see
Put
the
your fist
guy
up.
who's a lizard, he will bite your head off.
Right. The Sandman who can
Yeah, and a guy
We
who's
don't
made
even
out
know
of
how-
sand,
kill
You don't
you.
even know how Spider-Man's gonna fight Sandman, let alone these guys.
and then there's a guy who shoots lightning out of his hands.
Right.
So, you know,
Now, do you
what are you going to do?
now do you obviously there's no Doc Ock, there's no Goblin at this point. Do you think those two guys are taken care of
That we
somehow?
know of. That we know of.
Well, that
Because
we've seen again. They could have painted both of those guys out of this trailer or out of these shots too, that we know of. But yeah, I'm curious to see where they're at because they're what?
They're fighting.
They're fighting.
They're off on the side fighting.
I mean, I want Goblin in all of it. I want Goblin in this final battle. So it's just
Because I think to have this kid fight three superpowered villains at the same time by himself doesn't make any sense.
No.
It doesn't.
without
It's
Doctor
either-
Strange.
Yeah. So, you have to assume, and going to the end of the trailer, we know Strange is there, right?
Or shows up at the end.
Or shows up at the end, but I think he's there with him. I don't buy, I don't care if he's Spider-Man or not. He's one person, he's still a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to pit him against Electro, Sandman, and the Lizard
Mm-hmm.
all by himself, when to me, I don't buy that, which I think
Bless you.
leads into the idea that yes, Tobey and Andrew are in that scene, or Doc Ock is in that scene, or maybe there are Avengers in that scene. Because I don't know about you, but I think purple Aurora Borealis,
Which
over
is-
New York City,
Which is
and
this
a
shot right
giant-
here. Yeah.
and a giant sand person attacking the Statue of Liberty, that's going to get, I think someone, Falcon, aka Captain America, is going to be like, okay, something's wrong. Let's go check it out.
Exactly. Yeah.
So,
And yeah, where's everybody else?
True, right?
Where's
there's nothing, if there's anything that just screams Avengers Assemble, it's what we
The
see right
multiverse cracking.
here.
Definitely.
Yeah, for sure.
and who knows what's coming through.
I thought like when I saw this scene with Strange on top of the Statue of Liberty, and when he said I can't control this, I don't know who's gonna come through or whatever. What if when maybe all these surprise cameos come through, whoever comes through, what if he gets sucked in? And that's where we lose him until we pick him up in Multiverse of Madness.
That's a possibility.
It could
So
be.
he could get lost in this chaos, and Spider-Man's like, well, where do you go? And that's going to leave a mystery until his movie. So I think something might happen to Strange at the end of this movie that's going to leave us wondering what the hell happens to him. But of course, we know his movie's going to come out soon.
Exactly. What's going on, Alicia? Nice to see you in the chat. Welcome to the show. The very end of our Spider-Man segment. That is the end of the trailer. Yeah, I don't know.
He shows up. Stephen Strange, you son of a bitch.
Yeah, I don't know. I think
you come to bargain?
I think the crazy cameos, the crazy cameos will probably be saved for Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah, for sure. Or they get crazy here, then they get crazier in Multiverse of Madness.
They could, who knows?
I think that this could be, if this is the climax scene, I mean, why not just pull all the stops? Just do it. Just like if this is the climax and you've got all these supervillains fighting at the Statue of fucking Liberty, and there's this cross-dimensional rip that's occurring, and Doctor Strange is struggling to even speak, and then it's just like, boom,
Well,
the Guardians of the Galaxy come down with Adam Warlock, and then boom, the Starjammers shows up, and then it's like, oh, there's that X-Men. Who are these guys?
X-Men. Well,
fucking Storm just descends out of a storm cloud.
What if it's the fucking
and zaps Electro?
What if they're all in their black suits from the first X-Men movie, and they all show up because it was that fight from the end?
That would be nuts.
But
you bring up a good point, because you got to think about.
Rogue is inside the torch. The torch
and she's
off,
screaming.
And the machine is there.
Well,
Tom is gonna be like, "What is happening?
What is happening?" Mystique's all naked. He's like, "What's going on?" But you got to think about it too from a marketing perspective, because this is going to be bigger than Multiverse of Madness in terms of hype level.
Yeah.
So you're right. You would want there to be some serious cameos at the end of this movie so that people get super hyped for Doctor Strange.
Which we may also get in the mid credits or end credits.
Exactly. This could very well be a mid-credit, end credit scene.
You brought up Falcon, aka Captain America. Do you think we will see any of the other TV characters like Loki, Scarlet Witch, maybe? Who knows? What if Agatha pops up and this is her purple doing? I don't know.
I mean, I could see Falcon show up because he started off in the movies.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So did Bucky. So I can see them showing up. Scarlet, I wouldn't rule out Scarlet Witch either, because she may show up to help out or to save Strange or something. I don't know, because we still don't know how she's going to fit into Multiverse of Madness. I think we were talking about that before. We just don't know if she's going to be a bad guy or a good guy. So it was Agatha all along. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. So many possibilities exist.
Yeah.
So
we will eagerly anticipate this movie.
We can go into the comics. We want to go and do a deep dive and look at all the cross-dimensional stuff. There's a plethora of possibilities. So you've got like the Mcron crystal in X-Men with the Shi'ar Empire, and the Mcron crystal is basically the nexus of the entire universe. And the Phoenix Force, if I remember correctly, the Phoenix Force exists to protect the Mcron crystal. That's why the Phoenix Force exists.
Oh, okay.
And the Phoenix became a Dark Phoenix because it got exposed to all those I wouldn't say negative, but carnal human emotions and feelings when it was fused with Jean, and after all that stuff that happened with her in the Hellfire Club and all that. But I think that's because Phoenix is supposed to defend the Mcron crystal, and the Mcron crystal in the Marvel universe is like that physical manifestation of the universe. It's kind of like the lock and key. And if anything were to happen to the Mcron crystal, the entire universe falls apart. So that's going way cosmic. I don't know if they're going to go that route, because that's just I think the normal moviegoer is going to be like, wait, what?
Yeah, that is true. But this is kind of
a deep cut.
That's another question though too. Is this are we moving into a realm where it's getting too deep cut? Is this too much for your regular moviegoer? I wonder.
I think this is the stepping stones to these ambitious stories that the comics have. I think these are the testing grounds. If this makes a lot of money, hell yeah, they're gonna fucking, do
How
some
weird
ambitious
can
stuff.
we go? That's
How
fun.
weird can we go? Like, how really weird can we go?
How weird. How
You
weird.
think they will probably like take a page out of Roger Rabbit and do like a animation live action type crossover? That ambitious and that weird?
No.
But we see the 90s.
don't-
Yeah,
That
exactly.
might be a little too much.
I
But
don't
we see
think
the 90s X-Men next to the a live action.
It's funny because I was daydreaming that when we were talking about like the multiverse, and I'm like, wouldn't it be hilarious if like these cartoons like come out of nowhere? And I'm like, oh my god, stop, Shannon, stop.
yeah. That would definitely but that would take me out of the movie. I would be like, that's too far. Then you start losing me. If you're gonna definitely lose me at that point. Not entirely, obviously. I'll follow this till the end of the rainbow. But if it's
Deadpool shows up,
if it's gonna affect me, it'll definitely affect the general public. Well, thank you guys for breaking down the trailer with me and giving me your thoughts. It was a fun time. Now,
wait. Before we switch, because remember I said that I had an idea.
all right. I thought, yeah.
Okay, so if these movies, the previous movies, Spider-Man movies, if they happened and the events in those existed,
yep,
that means there is a variant, I guess we could say, of a certain symbiote that should still that would technically exist. Right, because think about this. So in Spider-Man 3,
yeah,
this is weird because Sandman does not die. Spoiler alert.
exactly.
He is spared. Sandman lives. Venom dies. So how do you that to me, that is a wrinkle in the whole thing that, everyone that we see here, were killed by Spider-Man, or their Spider-Man when Flint Marko was not killed by Spider-Man.
The one we saw, yeah.
Yeah. So what I'm thinking is, are we going to get a variant of the symbiote? Could that be a mid-credit or end credit?
See, I mean,
that it lays low, like it slinks around.
Yeah, it could be. Is that a satisfying?
Would
that be satisfying for you guys? If Venom showed up in an end credit scene, I would not be satisfied by that. I want something bigger.
What if the variant is Tom Hardy? What if they establish that in some weird way? Because isn't this one's kind of going to connect into the Sonyverse? Because we know that Keaton.
Well, I think that's what that's what we've been talking about. And I'm just trying to think of the logic of it.
Yeah.
Because Sandman doesn't die.
Variants. Yeah.
Right.
Sandman does not die. Sandman lives. And he steps away from the whole villain thing, right? Because he's another bad guy who didn't want to be a bad guy. He was a criminal, but he wasn't like a supervillain. He was in the wrong place in the wrong time. And then he's using his powers to get the money he needs to save his daughter.
I wonder. So so Tom Holland did an interview with GQ this week, and he said a couple things and it ties directly into what we're thinking about. He said that there are villains from every universe's timeline. And that made me think, and I'm like, wait a minute. I didn't connect the dots until just now. But obviously we have Doc Ock and Green Goblin from Tobey. We have Electro and Lizard from Andrews. So that means that this Sandman could just be Tom Holland's Sandman. And then maybe
a different timeline.
Right? Could be. We don't know. There's no guarantee, right? There's
True,
no
they are setting up everything to be like an epic return of what we know.
Right.
You feel? And
but we don't know for sure where Sandman comes from.
True. And if there is a sixth villain, who would that be?
I would say then if we're talking about Tom Holland stuff, then that means Mysterio comes back.
I hope so.
You know, that's what I'm thinking. I don't see Vulture because I think they're going to save him for Morbius.
Yeah, I think Vulture's.
Do you think Mysterio come back and
do you
think Mysterio might come back and gain magical powers from somehow, some way, Doctor Strange maybe, or whatever's going on in this multi? Or do you think we'll see a variant of Mysterio, like from another dimension? You know?
Yeah, maybe he joins forces with Mordo. I don't know. But I don't see Mordo joining forces with anybody.
Right, exactly. I want to be very interesting too. I don't feel like, because you also have to think about it from the studio perspective and moving forward with this franchise. You don't want to kill off almost any of these villains, right? I would end this and it would be like, okay, now we're going to form our Sinister Six. And then we're going to make Sinister Six movies and like, we're going to extend this franchise. I just don't see all of these villains dying. Maybe Doc Ock, okay, because he's going to have that redemption, a redemption arc. Okay, cool. And maybe Willem Dafoe's Goblin, but I just don't think Jamie Foxx is done. I think Jamie Foxx as an actor really wants to be in this universe. I don't know. Tom also did say in the interview, he's 25 now, and he said that he doesn't want to be playing Spider-Man forever. He stated that if I'm playing Spider-Man in my 30s, then I've done something wrong. Very interesting quotes.
Because he doesn't want to be stuck to one role forever as an actor. Which is understandable. But
it is understandable, but a lot of actors say that and they end up going back to it because they find out that the grass isn't greener on the other side.
Exactly.
You know, like for me, it would be, I mean, I know that the artistic idea of branching out and doing other stuff, but then there's a very realistic, real world thing. It's a sure deal. That's why, like, you know, Michael Caine has done so many movies, and or look at Nicolas Cage, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're talking about an Oscar level actor here doing like these direct to video movies, and it's like, why? And it's like, it's a paycheck. You know, at the end of the day, it's like if Spider-Man is a sure thing for Tom Holland, you know, because I mean, Uncharted, who knows what that's gonna do, you know?
Right,
and then
right.
after that, after Spider-Man, after Uncharted, you know, what's he going to be doing? Indie films? That's great, you know, but then that's nowhere near the type of exposure that he's getting now. So it all depends on what he's really looking for as far as his career goes,
right?
Or what? Because it's like, if it was me, like, and if I hit it off like working on one franchise or something, and it's successful and it keeps on going, I'm going to be like, well, I'm not going to look a gift horse in the mouth. I'm going to be riding this train as long as it takes me.
Yeah, right.
That's just me.
Well,
you know?
And like we've stated in the past, this is the last film that's on his contract. So this is also contract negotiation speak, right? Where it's like, well, I'll come back for the right amount of money. Not only that, but I mean, I think he's getting there. And with the success of this movie, he's going to be at RDJ level, or is, or approaching in terms of importance in MCU. Like he is crucial and central to this. Unfortunately, we lost Chadwick Boseman. Black Panther's going through its own production problems right now. Hopefully we get that. Hopefully they can get that figured out, and that movie is, that movie's going.
We don't know what Guardians and Thor is going to do. We have like absolutely no clue.
Exactly. Yeah. So, and I think, obviously Robert Downey Jr. is a mentor to Tom Holland. Tom Holland knows how much he's worth, man. Come on. You know what I'm saying? And he knows in the back of his head, he's like, to the MCU, he is RDJ right now. They've set the universe itself set him up. And obviously Spider-Man is the most popular Marvel character on the face of the planet. He knows, and he's not getting anywhere near RDJ money, but he could be. And I think he knows that moving forward.
But then someone like Bob Chapek could be like, yeah, okay. But, how many iterations of Spider-Man have we had and it's still successful?
Exactly.
We'll just do another iteration.
Exactly.
Bye, Tom.
Yeah, that is true. That can easily happen.
Chapek is money-minded.
Yeah.
He is very money-minded. So,
Well, did you also read the... I'm sorry to cut you off. Go ahead. Well, I was going to say, did you also read that Tom Holland said that I think he said it would be a smart move to start focusing on Miles, and when I read that, I'm assuming it's from the same GQ interview because they were taking a lot of quotes from that one interview. And when I thought that, I remembered what I said on the show I had a couple weeks ago where I was like, what if they do focus on Miles? Like, what if somehow, some way this Peter is taken out of his world and everyone feels that loss in the MCU, then Miles pops up. And then we get this Tom Holland version maybe over in the Sonyverse with Morbius and Venom, and he goes into that dark little world and they can explore those new stories with this Peter Parker, And then you guys brought up the whole, they won't really license Miles Morales off to Marvel. It was always like a Peter Parker type deal, So I do understand that, but with him mentioning Miles Morales, I'm like, that's for me, it's not too far fetched that this movie might end with, building up Miles.
So this is interesting. There are rumors that, and I think also too, Tobey could die in this too. I think you give Tobey a closure. I think that'd be kind of nice. I'd be fine with that. But also continuing, and if Tom wants to, whatever, I don't know what's going to happen with Tom. Obviously, nobody knows because this is his contract wise. There's nothing. This is it for him right now. So maybe who knows? But Morbius, Vulture, Venom, that whole verse, I could see Andrew, if Andrew wanted to come back, I could see him carrying the torch and Sony taking him and making more Spider-Man movies, because I would love to get an Amazing Spider-Man 3. I think Andrew deserves it. I think especially after the hype of this movie, how much people love that Tobey and Andrew are possibly, almost positively coming back. I mean, look at what this has done for Sony. You know what I'm saying? They would be stupid not to be thinking about the future with Andrew. I think it's something that they should be thinking about.
I love Andrew as Spider-Man as well. I prefer him over Tom, but I think back to the Let There Be Carnage post-credit scene, and they show Tom Hardy's Venom looking at an image of Tom Holland Spider-Man. So They literally set up a meet for these guys, So I'm just thinking, like, what if they do pull over Tom to the Sonyverse? As much as I would love to see Andrew's redemption, they might just give it to Tom and, hey, let's let Miles play in the MCU for a little bit. But then of course a lot of people want to see Tom Holland lead an Avengers movie, like him yell Avengers Assemble and him be in the forefront of it all, right? So yeah, man, they got a lot of routes to go.
Right. I think they'll do a few more with Tom, maybe one or two more, maybe. And then I think he's going to do the same thing that Chris Evans did this year. He's just like, I want to break for at least a while. He's like, and who knows, he might be able to come back in Secret Wars. I think that might be a play. That might not be bad, where he gets one more maybe, or like one more, and then he takes a break and then we don't see him until Secret Wars. Okay. I'm cool with that. This movie's going to be huge. So now, do you think this movie is going to make $1 billion?
Yes,
Yeah.
I think so.
That's big time. That's big time. I think so too.
Do you think it will beat out Endgame, become the #1 highest grossing film of all time?
No.
No.
No, with the pandemic, and I've been to movie theaters. I've been to a couple movie theaters in the last month, and these theaters are not packed. I'll be very curious to see what these theaters are like. But
I think this movie is gonna bring out a lot of fucking people.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. It's gonna make a ton of money. But
yeah, I just don't know if you're going to get pre-pandemic numbers this fast. It's gonna make a lot of freaking money. It's gonna make over $1 billion. I guarantee you that. But I just don't see it making any. I don't think it's gonna be making Black Panther. I don't know.
Yeah,
because Black Panther came out in February and no one thought it was going to do as well as it did.
Yeah.
So I guess it depends on how long they keep it out in the theaters.
True.
So.
Let's move on. Speaking of theaters, I took myself to go see Ghostbusters Afterlife this evening, and oh boy, what a great time it was. I think if you're a Ghostbusters fan, this movie was made for you. This is such a fun time at the movie theater. The funnest time I've had in the movie theater all year. Like,
great.
Straight up. I loved it. It feels old school in more ways than one. The references are there's deep cuts. It expands the lore. It's great. It's super awesome. And it sets up, I loved it. I thought it was spectacular. I've said this in previous episodes. I'll say it again. This is a universe that hasn't been tapped yet, and I think we are now finally getting the sequel we deserve. The sequel we deserved. I think they're setting this up to expand the franchise in more ways than one, possibly here. It's not a perfect movie, but it's close. It's damn close. Like
same thing you said about the original Ghostbusters on our rewatch.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's cool. That's awesome.
It's just fun. What's her name? I gotta look her up. I forget the main.
So no spoilers. Do you think this sets up for a sequel?
Yeah.
Awesome.
I hope we get a sequel. I definitely want a sequel. McKenna Grace, who plays Phoebe, who's the main kid in this. She's incredible.
Oh yeah, she's a great actress.
Oh, dude, she's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody gives a great performance across the board. Paul Rudd might be this is like my only critique in the movie. Paul Rudd might be a little underused.
Interesting.
Yeah, like
the sexiest man alive.
But it's not. But it's yes, the sexiest man alive is a little underused. But it's fine because it's not like but it's
focus is heavily on the kids, right?
Heavily on the kids. This is a great movie, man. This is great. This is a fun time. Not a dull moment in the movie. It's paced super well. It's funny. It's you just root for these kids. I just like, and it has a very old school feel in that way. And like we've talked about this before on the show, but like it was so nice to just feel that. It's like we spend time with these characters. Is it predictable? Kind of. But like that doesn't matter. Like it's not, and there's definitely nostalgia, right? Like you got to be a little nostalgic for the Ghostbusters, for sure. but it's a damn fun time. And
I remember in our rewatch, Shannon mentioned that as a kid, the original movie scared him a little bit. Even more so when it came to the cartoon. Some creepy moments there.
Oh,
Do you
yes.
say that is in this new one as well? There creepy moments?
Oh, yes. So little fact about me, I'm a jumpy individual. So, and I will tell you, and I was in a row all by myself. There were people behind me. They were kicking the seat. And I was like, these people better stop. Then there was one dude down the row that was like, I think talking on his phone in like the beginning of the movie, or like talking to somebody in his ear or something. I was like, what's going on? Like, step outside of the theater
during the No Way Home trailer.
But yeah, I'm a very jumpy person. So, and that's like any jump scare, I will jump. And there were, I think, 5 or 4 times that just even if it's just a cut to like something else, like it isn't even a scary moment. It's just like but in the sound design, it's like bumped up a little bit. I jump every time. So, but no, it's definitely scary. And there were, I think there was one family with a child who was in there. And I think they, what did they? Oh yeah, so it was the father and the kid, and they came out of the theater, and I overheard him talking to his kid, and he's like, "Oh, did you like it?" And the kid was like, "Yeah," and he's like, "Did you like that they were kids?" And he's like, "Yeah, I did." And he's like, "Yeah, Dad likes that too. That it was centered around kids." And the kid was like, "Yeah, that means it's real." And so I just thought it was cool that he said that coming out of the theater. I was like, all right, awesome. Like,
that's funny.
That's fun. So, but loved the movie. I thought it was great. I'll probably go see it again this week, to be honest with you. There haven't been a lot of movies that I've seen recently where I'm like, oh yeah, I want to go see that again a second time. Because like I saw Eternals, but I don't need to see Eternals again, but I definitely want to see this again. So yeah, Shannon's gonna love it. I can't wait for our next show and we can talk about it. When are you gonna see it, Christian?
Yeah, I am. Sometime this weekend, most likely tomorrow.
Okay, cool. Well, Sunday we'll talk about it. Very nice. I recommend it. Go see Ghostbusters.
And go watch a rewatch.
Yeah,
the first Ghostbusters.
Yeah, we did a rewatch episode of the first Ghostbusters. That'll be uploaded on Friday. You guys can check that out. So, be a fun time. With that being said, guys, I think that's our show for tonight. Unless you guys have anything else you want to add.
No, I'm good.
Oh, we can barely hear you.
Oh, good.
I'm good.
Oh, all right. You're good. All right. I think that's going to be the end of the episode. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Again, to support us, it's very simple. All you got to do is like, comment, and subscribe on the video. Let us know what you thought about the trailer. If you've seen Ghostbusters, let us know. If you're listening on Spotify, you can join us live on the live shows Thursday, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Just type in Tyler Babb on YouTube and subscribe to the channel. Also, guys, make sure you go to Christian's channel, To The Lens, with an exclamation mark, and subscribe to his channel. He's going to have that Chucky review up. When does that come up? Or when's the series end?
The series, well, it got 2 more episodes, so 2 more weeks. I got
okay.
For the episode. I might do a review so far, episodes 1 through 8, and then I'll wrap up with the last 2 because it's surprisingly good.
I'm excited. I probably won't watch the series, so I'll probably just check out your review. So.
Fair enough.
Unless, I don't know, who knows? Unless in your review you're like, go watch it, then I might watch it. But like I said, I'm a very jumpy person. So,
how are you with blood?
I'm fine with blood.
You're fine with blood and violence?
Yeah.
You're all right with that? All right. Yeah, I think you should be fine. But
yeah, no, we're good. It's just it's the sound design and the jump scares, man. They always get me.
Okay.
And never fail. All right. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We will see you guys. We'll be back again on Sunday for the Sunday episode. And take care, guys. Bye-bye. Oh, you guys are gonna get a Harry Potter end screen because I didn't switch to the end screen from the previous show. But all right, guys, take care.
Wingardium Leviosa. Swish and
Leviosa.
I heard the playback.